And we are live. Well, if you're just joining us, thank you so much. We appreciate you being here. I'm Karen Scull with Locks and Tops. And today we are very, very honored to have a very special guest with us today. She is an admired wig sister here in many communities. And she is here to tell us all about her journey with hair loss and her story. So, Mary, would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about you?
Thanks, Karen. I'm happy to be here. I'm Mary Elizabeth, and about me, I'm a mother of three, a grandmother of four, and I've been married 37 years. And yeah, I'm here today because of hair loss and hoping to reach others in this journey.
Yeah. So, tell us a little bit about how your hair loss began.
Um, for my life, I've really had really fine, thin hair.
Mhm.
And I just was used to that. But what I wasn't used to was all the things as we get older, uh, you know, being diagnosed with hypothyroidism, uh, going through hysterectomy, going through the changes of life, and my hair thinning, COVID, my hair falling out. It would go out and in, coming back and losing it, and spending so much money on supplements and all the treatments that just didn't last. And yeah, and a lot of medications besides that with all of the health issues. And as my hair started thinning, I started hiding more, hiding my hair, wearing hats, and just not going out as much, and just losing myself.
Yeah.
And so then all of a sudden in 2024 to 2025, it just started falling out the most. And I knew I had to do something. I couldn't continue to hide because my family was missing out and I was missing out on them. And that become, one of the biggest reasons that I started searching for all the alternatives besides just supplements that wasn't working and was so expensive.
Yeah. Could you tell us what kinds of things you tried?
Yeah, I've spoke with several of my doctors and trying to find alternatives from injections to all the supplements and the creams and uh, the the sprays. By the time I really wanted to try extensions or hair toppers, my hair had just almost completely gone by that point. So I knew that I was going to have to go to a wig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of went down the similar path where by the time I got to a wig store, they were trying to do a topper, and I was like, there's not enough hair there to attach it to. So I was like, don't think this is gonna work. So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about how that felt for you and what you were going through emotionally.
Well, there's no hair stores near me, and so there's salons, but I wasn't used to that because I really never had um, a reason to go to a salon because my hair was always so fine and so thin. I didn't, I did pretty much go get a haircut from time to time, but I learned to cut my own hair. I learned to color my own hair and do the things at home because I was really embarrassed to
Yeah.
go even into a salon and let a professional, look at what I had to work with because it wasn't much. And so I started talking to my husband and my daughter more about wigs and trying to find out if I was ready for that. Um, but I didn't really know where to begin. So I, I was invited to open a TikTok account by a friend. Uh, And so that's where I discovered wigs, was on TikTok.
Yeah. It's interesting because I think a lot of us, for me, I did not have a good experience at the wig shop
Mhm.
because they just kept trying to push me towards a topper. Didn't really work.
Yeah.
One, it was hard for me to find something that would blend in with my natural bio hair. And two, it wasn't going to really achieve the results that I needed. And so by the time I ended up purchasing my first wig, I did it online. Um, and thankfully, I got one that actually worked. And it was Beltress Chloe
Mm,
from the
yeah.
Lux line. And I was just thrilled with it. And so, but I was so afraid. Did you go through the same kind of journey where you were just afraid to
Oh yeah.
wear it?
I didn't know the first thing about any part of the wig journey. And so yeah, I was scared of what was I supposed to choose? What was I supposed to, how was I supposed to take care of it? All of these questions came into my mind. What was I supposed to do? And was anybody going to know? Was everybody going to laugh at me? How was I going to react? I started thinking, if somebody, said, "Hey, you look like you're wearing a wig," what was I going to say? There was so many fears
Mhm.
uh, going into it. So I still, even after I purchased my first wig online, I stared at it for a while and played with it, brushed it, tried it on, took it off, tried to style it. I didn't have a clue, so I had to, I was either going to have to put it on my head and just figure it out, or search and for help. And I didn't know. I felt like I was the only one in the world that was having this problem.
Yeah.
I knew nobody that wore a wig. And so I started researching and started looking for on YouTube and TikTok and trying to search for videos on how all that was supposed to work, because I had no clue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I did the same thing where I was connected to YouTube and Facebook or wherever I could go to find helpful content and tutorials and things like that. Because I just immersed myself in it. I was like, I got to find out what I'm supposed to do with these because there's not really like a user guide. Um, so, and if you do find helpful tips, you know,
Do you trust it?
do you trust it, right? Yeah. Um, and you just never knew like who to believe. So, like, I had a very, very bumpy road.
Yeah.
So for me, it was being able to trust and figuring out who I could trust because you got so much conflicting information. So yeah,
Well, and I thought there was something wrong with me, because it took me 2 months of trying to make that wig that I purchased work for me, instead of just admitting that it was not the right one for me. It wasn't. I bought was my dream hair, not what was
Mhm.
necessarily something that was going to work for me. I just bought the dream hair and I was trying to make it work.
Yeah. And I think I went just the opposite. I went to what looked most like my bio hair,
Mhm.
like what was something that was going to be familiar for me, and it was very low density, straighter hair, um, and something that I would feel a little bit more comfortable in.
Yeah, it took me 2 months to figure that out. And finally, the very first wig that I purchased from doing my research was Beltress Peppermint. And that was I got the most compliments, and nobody knew I had a wig on. I got the most compliments from that wig, and that was the beginning of the wonderful part of the wig wearing journey when I found that particular wig
Yeah.
in Beltress at that time. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, did you stay very close to your natural bio color as well?
Yes.
Because I did too.
Yeah. Peppermint,
Yeah.
my hair was so very thin and fine, and that Beltress peppermint was very low density. I got I believe I got the chocolate with caramel
Mm-hmm.
color, which
Mm-hmm.
I'm a natural brunette, so I stuck with that. And that, yeah, that was very close to my hair color. It had, yes, that was the beginning of wonderful. Yeah,
Now, I see that you have since ventured out of
just slightly. Yeah.
out of that brunette, which is
Yes.
amazing. Would you say that over a period of time that you kind of started to do that and you started to kind of experiment with styles and different colors and such?
Yes, I stuck with the brunette color. I then went to Beltress, the dark brown HL.
Mhm.
Yeah, I went to that color, and then I went to the mocha maple brown color
Mhm.
because my natural hair, even though it was brown, it had a lot of red highlights. And then I ventured to the English toffee, and then the rich chocolate brown. I didn't really go as dark as like triple chocolate, but
Mhm.
as far blonde as I went, the lightest color to wear has been buttered toast.
Yeah, they're all beautiful colors, right? I love their brunettes, and sometimes it's interesting because for me, everyone was used to seeing me as kind of a caramelly blonde,
Yeah.
and so when I started wearing brunettes, my husband said to me, "You look like your mom," because my mom was a natural brunette. And so I was like, "Oh well, okay, I think that's a good thing."
Yeah. My mother had really dark, d- almost the darkest brown before you could go black. That was my
Hmm.
mother's hair. Yeah.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah.
Big, big, beautiful, voluptuous brunette hair. And I was
Yeah.
like, why didn't I get that gene?
I know. Yes. Yes, I agree. My mother and her friends would meet on Sunday, and they would all do each other's hair, and I got to watch that growing up. And so hair
Yeah.
was, a big thing in our house because they it was the era that I grew up in. Yeah, big
Yeah.
hair.
Oh, yeah. I can remember my aunties, my grandmother, my mom all lined up. My grandmother had this very large mirror in the bathroom, and they would all stand and line up and do their hair at the same time. And you could just see the hairspray
Yeah,
going. And
the Aquanet, yeah, the Aquanet hair.
it was great. Those are really good memories.
Yes.
So, tell me a little bit about some of the challenges that you've had while being on this journey. Because I know, like, for me, it was finding the right style, finding the right color, finding, like, getting some styles and thinking that's nothing like what it looks like in the photos,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Or, having people say, oh, that's the most beautiful style. And I'm thinking, that doesn't look good on me.
Mhm.
So tell me about some of the challenges that you've had.
Well, one of the challenges is, like you said, finding different styles, not just the same. Once your eyes are open to the wig world, you're like, okay, well, maybe I'll go short. It's summertime,
Hmm.
and maybe I'll go a little long because that would really look cute in an updo or for a special event. So I tried to find other styles that would match my personality that I felt like that I could change it up and wear different styles. And then I got caught up in I guess the race of finding what worked best for me, and then finding a lot of what didn't, and going through that. But then there's the comfort side of it too. The wig, learning more about the wig caps and
Mm,
the different comfort in this color, different colors, and what was I, how far was I willing to go uh, for the comfort, or this color, and you started just collecting a few wigs and learning a lot there. But I guess one of the downsides to that is I've ended up with quite a few wigs that didn't work for me, and so yeah. But comfort has lately, especially comfort, has really become something that I've been focusing on, the wig caps and the comfort.
yeah,
Rediscovering human hair, that's been
yeah,
wonderful too.
yeah. Well, so for me, I actually went down that journey of human hair relatively early on, um, because I was like, I want something. I don't know how long this synthetic thing is going to last. I really want something that I know it's going to last a while. And I'd been hearing about human hair. In my first human hair experience, I purchased a short human hair bob and just had the most horrible experience with it.
Mhm.
It's like I just spent $2,300 on a little
Oh
human hair
no.
bob, and it's awful.
Oh no. Yes, that's
So that was very very bumpy for me. So I really dug in. I was like, I'm gonna do my research,
yeah.
and um, it got better from there, thankfully.
I think that's one of the things that I feel passionate about at this point in my journey is the education side of it, because there's so much that I didn't research in the beginning. I just dove in, and you feel so uncertain and so many unknowns that you just, okay, I've always been that person, just dive in, and in the deep end. And so I've kind of come back in the shallow end a little bit so I could stand back and look at all the education side of everything, because in the beginning I thought, well, I have to get this or I have to do that, uh, not knowing all the options that
Mhm.
are out there. And yeah, I thought, well, there's no way I would be able to put that kind of money into a human hair wig. But then I realized that, whoa, it's not as costly as I thought it was, and it's not, as far reach as I thought
Yeah,
for me. And as educating myself, I've found different options and different things that I can do, and I think that's really important for
yeah,
for to share. And so that's one of the things that I really have become passionate about lately, is sharing knowledge about those types of things.
yeah. I think it's so important, and I think that that's I think it's important that women know that there are other women out there like yourself, um, that will help support and educate. Um, and the other question that I had was, had you gone down the road of like insurance or anything and checking insurance for reimbursement or anything like that?
No, that's something that my doctor and I have discussed,
Hmm.
and I'm learning more about that. I've learned a little bit more about that in some of the wig groups that kind of specialize in those topics.
Hmm.
Um, and I've learned some different insurance codes and things like that I've written down somewhere that I'm supposed to talk to my doctor about seeing about that. And that's a wonderful avenue, I
Yeah,
think, for a lot of women uh, that they don't know about.
right. Oh, absolutely. Uh, and and I actually do help women with that.
Oh, that's
And
wonderful.
there's information about it over on the Locks and Top website.
Okay, good.
I ended up doing that. I ended up going that route, but it can be very tricky
Yeah.
because some insurance companies will cover that as a not necessarily a prescription per se, but they cover it as a durable medical equipment.
Mhm.
And so you kind of have to know how to navigate that with insurance so that you can get it covered. And a lot of them will call instead of a wig, they'll call it a cranial prosthesis. And
Yes.
so there's lots of different little nuances about it and things that you have to know to help get it covered by your insurance. Even like getting a doctor's note, getting a prescription from your doctor, all those things that having your diagnosis code, having all of those things
Yeah.
in order to get it covered. Um, and even finding out like how much is covered under your plan. And did you meet your deductible for a DME? Right. So there's just so many things to know about it. And I feel like, you know, insurance companies make
Yeah. Is there, would that be covered? I mean, would you need to see a dermatologist or just a regular physician? Probably need to be referred to a specialist, maybe. I'm not
I,
even sure where to start.
I ended up at my dermatologist
Mhm.
and I said, this is what I need. I actually called my insurance and I said, tell me everything that you need from my dermatologist. And I wrote my dermatologist, I said, this is exactly what they need. And she ended up writing the letter with the diagnosis code and all that. And I sent that to the insurance company and they said, okay, this is how much we'll cover. This is how much has been met by your deductible, so on and so forth. And so then, of course, I had to find someone that if there's a specific code that you have to use
Mhm.
in order to be a provider. And so in order to do that, you have to give them that information for the provider. They then go and approve it. Now, here's a little caveat, a little trick that most women don't know is with most insurance companies, they have to provide a DME provider that provides that service within, I think it's like 100-mile radius of where you live. If they don't, then you can ask them to review it and go wherever you need to go. So, little tip.
Okay.
um, but yeah, I mean, there's just so many things to know about wigs, and I'm like you, Mary. Like I try to educate myself as much as I can, um, and it's sometimes it can be tricky navigating things like that. Are there any other challenges like that you've had in terms of trying to find a good fit? I know we were talking about fit. What do you find is most comfortable for you?
For me, I'm really a hand tied wig is the most comfortable. Uh, when I was on my weight loss journey, which is another reason for my hair loss, is my head circumference was really a lot bigger than it is right now because of weight loss. It has gone. My head circumference has shrunk a little bit with with the fat loss, um, but the hand ties are the most comfortable, and then of course the human hair wigs, the closed wefted. Uh,
Mhm.
those are so very comfortable.
Yeah, I would agree.
Not
Um,
always affordable, but yeah, that's a challenge.
yeah, I agree. Um, but I can tell you, so I started getting into ventilating,
Hmm.
and sometimes I'll do hairlines and things like that. But I will tell you, I got one of these little headsets with the magnifying glass and the light, and I was like, how do people sit and do this all day long? It's extremely tedious work.
Yeah,
So I get why they're a little bit more expensive
yeah,
because it's it is tedious, but yeah, I would agree with you. I think they're definitely more comfortable, at least for me. Um, through. Um, what I will say is that Frankie, it was so comfortable. I fell asleep in it. That one.
It is so comfortable.
Yeah.
It's so comfortable. Yes. Thank you, Karen. This I love this sale. This sale was such a wonderful sale. I had to snag me one.
It's so soft too. I was really, really surprised for, and I mean, this is how much I have abused Frankie. Like I put her on, I hung her on the chair the other day because she's like my run out the door wig right now.
Oh yes, yes.
And so I just put her on the back of the chair. My husband's like, "Are you going to leave your wig there?" I'm like, "Yes, I am." So, um, but yeah, no, it's one of those things where it's like you sometimes you'll just find one and it's like such a good deal, and you're thinking, "No, that
She's
can't be comfortable. Something's wrong."
she's so lightweight, so low density.
Yeah,
And that's what I'm used to with my hair. Of course, this beautiful wave, this is dream hair. Uh, yeah,
I
she's
agree.
gorgeous. I
Uh,
love her.
she's so pretty on you. I don't know many people that haven't put it on and went, "Oh, yeah,
Motion detected at the front
that's
door.
pretty." So it looks great on you.
Motion detected
Thank
at the
you.
front door.
Sorry, my alarms are security alarm.
Uh
It's okay.
oh. So, oh, we actually have a couple people that have joined us. So we have Annie.
Hey,
Annie,
Annie.
hello, welcome. We're happy you're
Yeah.
here. Um, she agrees. Frankie is adorable. Yeah,
Yes. Thank you.
we agree. um, so tell me a little bit more about once you started down the journey, Mary, like what really kind of helped in terms of like emotional support? What kind of
Oh,
emotional
yes.
support did you did you get? Like, did you find another wig sister, or was it just groups that you got into? Tell us a little more, a bit more about that emotional journey.
Yes. When I first started wearing, purchasing the wigs, there were, I was in a invited to join a group, a wig group, through that purchase. And that was the beginning of just realizing and doing research of how many millions of women suffer from hair loss, and the how many people are on that journey. It is like just a door was opened, and it's like, oh, the room is full of
Yeah,
people, of women suffering the same thing I was suffering,
yeah,
and uh, some so much more so than what I was going through. My problem seemed so minute compared to, a lot of women who, it's just incredible the journey that some women are on. And with the group, I began to ask questions and read a lot of content, about wig wearing and wig care and all the things that I hadn't even really thought of yet. Um, and that was really amazing, connecting to women. And then from there, it just went from group to group, learning how to, sell the wigs that I purchased that I didn't need, and in another group that, learning how to, uh, donate and give back. And yeah, the journey has been amazing, because that feeling of no longer being alone, that feeling of not, not being by yourself anymore, and not having to hound my husband with questions and get him to help me do research. There was so much research right there in front of me that
Yeah.
people had already done, and just asking a simple question and meeting a lot of wonderful, wonderful ladies.
Yeah. I think that that was so, I was just so beside myself. I think by the time I got to that point, I was like, what do I do? And then I started a little kind of an emotional support group for, I don't know if you heard last week when we talked to Barbara. Um, sh- that's how I got started in
Mhm.
this whole thing, was not just having that bumpy road, but being able to like support other women that had gone through it. And, what are they going to do? I was like, "Ah, just get a wig.
Yeah,
Come over, try
just
mine
get the
on.
wig.
Just get a wig. Come try mine on. You'll have a blast. You know, and I think having that support really is critical. It's key,
Mhm.
um, for helping you to gain your confidence back again. Did you go through that where you like had felt like you lost your confidence and you weren't? Because that for me, that was a big part of it where I was like, oh my gosh, is it okay to wear this out? And I would like look at myself and be like, oh no, 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 that's a wig, right? And it was like my mind playing tricks with
Yes.
me. I
Yeah, I
looked at
didn't.
it.
Yeah, I didn't realize how I had set my mind to the oh no, somebody's going to be able to tell I have a wig on. The first place I wore a wig was to church, right? So nobody better judge me,
Yeah,
right? Just kidding, but I I I started slowly
yeah,
going out to the mailbox, as they said to do. Go to the mailbox, go to the post office, go to the grocery store. I went to church. I went to a funeral. And that was really the beginning. And then after that, I was in the post office one day, and I had, I bought a wig that I absolutely fell in love with, and I felt really good in it. And me and three other ladies got to giggling and talking. And when I left there, I was like, oh my goodness, where did all that come from? I didn't realize, myself, and hid myself away until I felt that confidence that day
yeah,
in that wig. And then I realized, wow, and I know I'm not alone in that.
yeah,
Uh, because until you've experienced that, that was the most amazing day, that an eye-opening day for me, that I had didn't realize that I had, I was in that place of hiding myself away. I didn't realize how much until that day.
yeah.
That was amazing.
It's so interesting how much we put so much of our value in our hair.
Yes.
And like my husband would say, honey, your hair looks fine. I'm like, no, it doesn't look fine. I know it doesn't look fine. It's not me.
Yeah.
Right. And you just, it's like you said, you hide, you wilt, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you just want,
Adapt almost. Yeah.
you don't want people to see you.
Yeah.
And I just remember the first time I went out where I felt like, okay, I'm wearing this wig, it's not wearing me. I'd gone to Ulta, a beauty supply, and the woman that was helping me pick out lipstick says, can I ask you where you got your hair done? It's just beautiful. And I don't know what compelled me, but I felt the need to tell her I'm wearing a wig. So I lifted it up, and she just was floored.
Yeah.
She was like, holy smokes, you have the most beautiful hair I've ever seen. She's like, I never in a million years would I have ever expected you were wearing a wig. And I thought, and it was like that was the time when I felt like I kind of started to regain myself again.
Yeah. Our hair is the key to our identity. It's so tied to that. And yeah, I'm the same way now. If I see that that would help someone, I I'm eager to share that I'm wearing a wig, and I'm
Yeah.
fine with that, because before I didn't realize how much I was hiding away, and then when I realized how much confidence I had, that's not just for me. That's, every woman should have that feeling of confidence and know that it's okay to feel that confident.
Hmm.
And it was a wonderful feeling that day.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is, right? It's like you feel like yourself, you
Yeah.
start to feel like yourself, and like you're starting to emerge from this cocoon that
Yeah.
you've been in. Um, Now, in terms of, did you get any feedback from people that were like, oh, you don't need a wig, or, you look fine? Did you get any feedback?
My family has always been very supportive. So
Mhm.
when I first started talking to my husband and my daughter about it, uh, I said, "Do you think I'm ready for a wig?" And at that time, I still had a good bob and good color in my hair, keeping my hair
Mhm.
colored. And they said, "Well, probably not yet, but what do you think?" And I was like, "I don't know. I just, I didn't feel right. I didn't know how to explain it,
Yeah.
especially, to somebody else. I didn't know how to say, I don't want to go out. I don't want to go anywhere looking like this. I just didn't feel like myself."
Yeah.
And but I knew that I had to make that decision. I had to just do it, or, keep missing out. But they were very supportive, and uh, they were very, very tickled and encouraged me, and, helped me along the way. But I know there's so many women that don't have that support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you, in terms of advice for other women that are going through this, Mary, what's a couple of pieces of advice that you would give to them if they're going through this?
For to make that decision,
Yeah.
if they're needing to make that decision and don't have that support there, I hope that they find, or know that there are wig groups out there. And I've met some women that I've become so close with, that closer than anybody I've had in my life, other than my husband and my children, friend, that's truly, would help me. I know if I had to start all over again, that I could depend on, some of the wig groups that I have came into
Yeah.
in that journey. And that's very important. And I'm so glad that that's available to
Yeah.
everybody. Just sometimes you might have to just keep searching until you find the right one, but it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that.
Oh, absolutely. I do too. And that's like really where I started. I got a hold of someone, a couple of ladies actually, that were just super honest with me. And I was like, well, this is refreshing. I was like, well, what do you think about this? And they'd be like, no, that doesn't look good on you. And I was like, okay, well, thank you. Next. So, um, but it was really helpful because I knew that they were going to be honest with me. I also had a friend that the first time I ever went to a hair salon, or to a wig salon, um, she ended up buying the topper that I did not get. So, but she went with me. She's like, let me tell you, I can help you because I've been here before. And she was like, you're gonna want something that's thinner. She didn't know it was called density or anything. You want something that's thinner, probably something that's straighter, like that you're used to. And she was spot on. Now, she hadn't ever worn a wig, but she knew me that well.
Yeah.
And I would say, what do you think about this one? She'd be like, mm-mm, no, no. And so but I knew she had my back, right? She wasn't going to let me walk out in something that she knew I
Yeah.
wasn't going to feel comfortable with later on. So I think having those sisters in your life, having those women that will support you, be honest with you, but do it in a kind manner,
Yeah.
um, really helped me in my journey.
Yeah.
So, um, tell me about, tell me a little bit more about like where you want to go down this journey, because I know you and I had kind of chatted about this. Um, like I know you really like your heart and your passion is in this, and you really want to help support other women as well. Tell me a little bit about that.
That kind of started with I had a couple of people, a friend, a girl I worked with, uh, a sister-in-law, that reached out and said, "Where do I go to find a wig?" And I was like, "Oh, well, okay, let's talk about it." So, I had never thought about where somebody else is, go find a wig. There's no wig shops in my town, so I don't really know about other towns where people are. But I just thought there's this is something I when I started helping my sister-in-law and a close coworker friend from years ago, I started helping them, and I thought this is. Something I really enjoyed.
Mhm.
Um, Helping them and talking with others in the community and answering questions and learning together. There's so much to learn, and I just really find joy in that, helping others and educating, somebody that might be just starting out. I've only been on this journey just almost on 15 months, but what I have learned is there is so much misinformation as much as there is information. And so I've just really, really got my mind set to not only try to help others figure out what it is they need, but also to maintain a wig. There's, a lot in not just how to wash a wig, how to trim a wig, how to, like you said, vent. I've been learning that. I have all kinds of stuff I've purchased into trying to take care of my own wigs that I know that I can help somebody else
Yeah.
and giving back to. That's something that I'm really passionate about because I can't even imagine somebody not being able to purchase a wig, but it's that need is there.
Yeah.
And there's, that's something that is dear to me. I want to be able to help in any way I can. So
Yeah.
I think that's part of the community too, that we're all involved, something that we all have a part to play, being involved. And I just want to keep learning and keep helping others get to where I am and beyond, because that's the confidence is I didn't realize how much I was missing
Yeah.
until I discovered wigs.
Yeah. Yeah. How long do you think it took you maybe before you started to get your confidence back?
Probably at least 6 months, I
Yeah.
feel like, because I
Mhm.
was on that. The first 6 months was probably such a learning curve that I was just so involved in learning what I needed to do and all the ins and outs of a wig wearing journey, that once I felt like that I had my feet planted
Mhm.
firmly in just the journey of that confidence. Once I felt like I had really found myself again, yeah, I was ready to definitely help others at that
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
So, and ladies can find you on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I know you're great about supporting other women, which I think is amazing. Um, and I see you giving back of your time and your knowledge, which I think is awesome. And so, if ladies want to reach out to you, they can definitely reach you through those resources as well, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's awesome. So,
Yeah, and I'm working on my YouTube as well, getting
oh,
that set up to where I can do some videos on some things I've learned, but that I've found that I wish I had known in the
yeah,
beginning. Yeah.
yeah. What are a couple of things that you wish that you had known? A couple of tips that you could pass on that you just,
Well, the one thing that we talked about is how to choose that first wig, how to know that it's going to be a good fit for you, not only just literally fitting you correctly, you know, learning how to measure your head, all the things that you don't really see when you're watching a lot of TikTok videos, that all you see is sales. You don't really see how to measure your head, how
Mhm.
to, what density means, low density, high density, medium density. Yeah, there's so many things that I wish I had known in the beginning that would probably saved me a little time and a lot of money,
Mhm.
knowing what would work for me and what wouldn't.
Yeah, I think that's so true. Um, and I mean, even like who defines that density, particularly among like synthetics or heat friendly synthetics? It's like, how do you define what low density is, what medium density is, what high density is, right?
Yeah.
Like with human hair, it's a little bit different because you can kind of gauge, they'll give you a percentage, right? But with
Yeah.
synthetics, you just low, medium, high, and most wigs say average size.
Yeah.
And
Small,
you're
medium, large, extra large.
like, that's just not gonna work for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know you've had some great tips. Like you've come up with that diagram where you're measuring your head for all your measurements and you create that. I think you did that in AI, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an AI prompt. I need to post that prompt to
Yeah.
help people. Yeah. And how to measure, how to wash. There's so many little things that we
Yeah.
don't think about, when we're staring in the mirror at, and all we see is just our hair falling out and how it makes us feel. I never thought of how to wash a wig. I was more concerned about, do I need one? How do I buy one? Where do I go? What do I get? So many questions. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a friend, a dear friend of mine, and she's like, "Can you just cover the basic?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Well, what do you want to know?" She's like, "I don't know. I don't know what I need to know."
Yeah.
You know, and it's true. You don't know what you need to know when you first start this journey. And so, and it's just so emotional because you go in and you're like, first of all, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
Right? You're kind of resentful
Yeah.
of the fact that you or even have to go to a wig store. Like I remember I just was like, ew, it just was cringeworthy, right?
Yeah.
And then when I got in, I was like, oh, well, that's kind of cute. Oh, well, that's kind of cute too. Oh, well, I like that. So and it's funny because you see all these women that are in entertainment. I mean, for goodness sakes, look at Dolly Parton, how long she's been wearing wigs.
Yeah.
I, I think I read an article
And
one
she looks
time.
so good.
I
So
know.
natural. Yeah.
She wears those wigs. She's like, I think I read an article that she's got over 1,000 wigs. And I was like,
Oh, good. She's got me beat. That's good.
she's And she's like, yeah, that's my thing. Some women have this, some women have that. I've got my wigs.
Yeah. Purses, jewelry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Clothes,
And
shoes. Oh, goodness. Shoes.
yeah, yeah. And so I was just like, yeah, I so look up to her, but she just wears her wigs and she's not apologetic for it at all. But there's just so many women. Keira Knightley, you would never expect Keira Knightley's wearing a
No,
wig, you know?
that's news to me.
It's so many people in entertainment.
Drew Barrymore.
Drew
I was
Barrymore.
shocked. Yeah. Drew Barrymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nicole Kidman.
It's being talked about more and more, which is a good thing. And
Yeah.
that's a whole nother subject about why the stigma, I guess is, I don't know if that's the right word, around wig wearing.
Yeah.
Um, it's just, you know, unbelievable.
It really is. It's like, in different cultures, it's totally permissible. It's like almost a given that you're going to wear a wig.
Yeah.
And then in other cultures, it's not.
Yeah.
Or, you're looked down on if you do, or,
Or there's
and
something wrong with you, like,
yes,
oh, that person wears a wig, walk on the left
right,
side.
right. Or they assume that you're sick or
Yeah.
whatever the case is, right? And so it's just, it's something that I think is just now starting to become normalized,
Yeah.
which I'm really happy about.
Yes.
So I know we've got about 10 minutes left. Let me stop and ask if anybody would like, if they have any questions that they would like to ask um, from Mary. If you'd like to ask, go ahead and put them in the chat. Um, and then we'll go ahead and get those questions answered. So, Mary, if you had to go down this journey again, what is what's one or two things that you probably would have done differently?
Oh gosh, I would have probably started a lot sooner. At least a year, at least a year before I started.
Yeah.
Knowing what I know now, I would have started sooner. I would have educated myself more on, I mean, I didn't even know how to put a wig on. I was just going by what so and so said. And there's so many things that I would have researched more. I would have started sooner, researched more, learned, where I could go to try wigs on instead of
Mhm.
just saying, well, there's nobody near me. I mean, I didn't even look. I looked in my local area, but outside of my area, I didn't even look or research where the closest place to me was. I would have definitely, if I knew everything I knew now, I would have traveled a little farther than where I am and found a wig shop.
Yeah. Do you feel like going to a wig shop was beneficial?
I really feel like I would have had at least half of my questions probably answered that I
Mhm.
had, that I was so desperate to find out.
Mhm.
Uh, and because I didn't have those, answers, I just dove in, but I still felt so alone. I
Yeah.
think maybe finding a wig shop, I would have at least met somebody else and learned that I wasn't the only one,
Yeah.
in the world that had suffering from hair loss like I was.
It's interesting. I went to two wig shops, and I would say neither experience was helpful. I
Mhm.
shouldn't say that. The second wig shop that I went to, she said to me, buy a rooted piece. It will look more natural than a non-rooted piece. And I think she actually showed me rooted as opposed to non-rooted. And I thought, oh, I think she could be right. But so many of the pieces nowadays that you see, there's a long root. And that's some of the feedback I hear from ladies is like, why don't they make wigs with a shorter root? So, um, but yeah, I didn't feel like I got a lot of great information. Now, in the places that I went to, um, but I definitely do think it's helpful in terms of like trying your first styles on, because then you kind of get an idea of what is going to look good on you and what's not.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I would agree with that. Let's talk for just a couple minutes. We don't have any questions. Um,
I
let's talk.
thought somebody would want to know what I was wearing. It's Renee Paris, Frankie, and Marvel Brown.
Yeah, and it's gorgeous. Um, Tell me about a couple of tips that you have seen where you're kind of like, mm, maybe that's not, I don't think that that's accurate, where you can kind of help ladies.
Thank you for asking that because I heard someone the other day say, ask the question, what are those little tiny hairs at the nape of the neck? And somebody said, oh, those aren't important. You can just cut them out, or you can just use a steamer and steam them and or hot comb them. Those little tiny hairs at the base of the nape is not important at all. And I thought, wait a minute, wait. If I want to pull my hair up in an updo, I hope those hairs are still there to cover the nape of the neck. I'm pretty sure that's what they're for. And this was an influencer that'd been wearing wigs for a long time. And I thought, wait a minute.
Wow.
And everybody was just praising their answer. And I thought, do a little more research.
Yeah.
And I blame myself for not doing more research in the beginning and just listening to the next influencer or watching the next YouTube video. I've seen some really strange things that people have done with their wigs, and I just can't. I have to research everything when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to something that I'm doing, as far as dipping my hair in boiling water or putting baking soda in your wash and things like that. I've learned so much just researching that part of it. Now that I know that I need to research. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, what's your take on the hairs at the nape of the neck? What's
Well,
your
I
take on
definitely
that?
think, well, for human hair, you know, you can, there's different things you can do with the return hairs. You don't want to get them too short, right?
Yeah,
Particularly at the nape of the neck, because if you do want to wear it in an updo, you want to make sure that you have those return hairs. Um, it's interesting because wigs are made for a specific reason, a specific way, right? So I've seen women that have taken permatease out of a wig
mm,
when it was a wefted wig, and then they had all this sparse area in the wig, and I'm like, okay, so they strategically put permatease there for a reason. So I always say when they design a wig, they design it for a reason. It isn't just to like put permatease in, right?
yeah,
So um I mean, I would usually keep the return hair there because I do like to wear my hair up. Um, but I'm not quite sure why they would say that. But sometimes they'll say things for a reason. Maybe they thought. And here's the other thing: like sometimes I think communication gets mixed up. Sometimes, like maybe they didn't fully understand the question,
yeah,
or maybe the question wasn't asked correctly. So yeah. But I always feel like there's pros and cons to everything. It's
yeah,
like people will say, um, which is better, synthetic or heat friendly synthetic versus human? And I'm like, there's pros
yeah.
and cons to both, you know?
It's true.
So, um, that's I think that's a personal decision. There's you have to take into account for both, but it's really kind of educating yourself about where you're going, right? I think both are great. Um, and what do you want to do with that? So I don't think we had any questions. Mary, if um, ladies want to reach you, how can they reach you in terms of like your different social accounts?
Yeah, I'm Mary Davis Dunn. On Facebook is Mary Davis Dunn. TikTok is Mary Elizabeth _crowns. Uh, I am Mary Elizabeth. Yeah.
And we'll actually put that in the comments below so that
Okay.
people have it. Is there anything, any last suggestions or tips or anything like that that you can offer, ladies?
I know that we talked about educating ourselves, asking questions. If you don't have someone to ask the question to, yeah, reach out. Especially, I know there's videos on YouTube.
Mhm.
They can, reach out and ask, in those forums. I know the Facebook and just searching for wig communities and getting involved that way. I know was very important to me. Like I said, if I had to start all over again, I would have started sooner. Um, I know a lot of people are hesitant. I was, in beginning a wig journey, I was very hesitant of even purchasing a wig or, not knowing so much. But if I'd done my research more, I think I would have found someone that I could have asked. But I was so embarrassed, and that was something I think a lot of people deal with. They're either embarrassed or, they don't want anybody to know.
Yeah.
But if they could just reach out to anyone that's already wearing a wig, I would be happy to answer any questions or help anybody get started. Uh,
Thank you, Mary.
yeah,
Thank
happy
you.
to do that.
Well, we appreciate you so much and just love you and love the fact that you love to uplift and support women. And it's just wonderful and amazing what you do. Before we wrap up, I just want to let ladies know, if you weren't aware, there's a John Renault special over at
Yay.
locksandtops.com. And it's only good until tonight at midnight. So if you're looking for Catalina Blonde, this is Miranda in Catalina Blonde, what I'm wearing right now. I'm sorry, my light went off. But this is Catalina Blonde in Miranda Light. And so if you're looking for something, that's a really, really good sale going on right now. And with that, Mary, again, I just wanted to thank you so much. And you're such a blessing. I so appreciate you being here with us today and telling us all about your personal journey.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I love you so much.
I'll
Glad to be here.
Everyone, thank you for joining us. We will see you next weekend when Kim will be joining us and
Yes,
talking
can't
about
wait.
which she'll be talking about her personal journey with
Yeah.
hair loss, and we'll just continue to celebrate women um, in their personal
Absolutely.
journey and uplift and support them however we can.
Yep.
All right, everyone, have an amazing week, and we'll see you next weekend.
Happy Sunday. Bye,
Happy
everybody.
Sunday. Oh, that was so great.